What's up, you guys? Sean, Ross Sapp, FightfulMMA.com here for a live watch-along. It worked really well for the Tito Ortiz versus Alberto Del Rio fight. We did a watch-along for that, so we're here for Rampage Jackson versus Fedor. Of course, we still have our issues with the YouTube channel, yada yada, but here we are on the SRS Wrestling channel doing one of these. Leave a thumbs up. Make sure you guys subscribe. Visit FightfulMMA.com. We have news there all the time, and I am moving away from a lot of the traditional MMA podcasts that we've done. Instead, we're doing some of these. I'll do still traditional ones for like Conor McGregor fights and pay-per-views and things of that nature, but I wanted to bring you all a little bit of coverage of this. I was excited for this fight. I mean, it happened 10 to 15 years after it should have. Quite frankly, these were two of the three guys that got me into MMA. Quentin Rampage Jackson walking to the cage right now. But in 2003, I believe it was, my cousin, who I grew up with more like a brother, showed me a Best of Pride DVD, or not DVD, it was a pay-per-view on DirecTV at the time. And it specifically featured about 4 or 5 guys. Featured Igor, it featured Randleman, but the 3 that caught my eye: Quentin Rampage Jackson, Fedor Emelianenko, and Mirko Cro Cop. Fedor, for the obvious reasons, he was a wrecking machine. He was unbeatable at that point, and for years after, we never really saw anybody beat him. But he did have some susceptibility. Randleman dumped him on his head, but he was out there beating everybody. He was this quiet, calm, just Russian badass that was just destroying everybody. Mirko Cro Cop and Quentin Rampage Jackson I liked for a couple different reasons. They had finishing moves. I was a pro wrestling fan, and you had Quentin Rampage Jackson and Mirko Cro Cop with finishing moves. Rampage would slam people into the mat and finish them. Mirko Cro Cop would finish people with a head kick. I thought that was the coolest thing ever. So around 2004-ish, I started to pay a little bit more attention to MMA. Now, I wouldn't get so involved that I would train until several years later, but by 2006, I was a fan of MMA and was watching the major shows. By 2007, I was watching everything that was on TV, and a lot of that really launched with that UFC show that featured Mirko Cro Cop and Fedor and Rampage Jackson on pay-per-view. Now, I started this during the walkouts because I was like, all right, you know what? I'll give this a little more time, yada, yada. They are taking their goddamn time with this. My Lord, are they taking forever with this. Bellator, with their time killing, is obscene. It is annoying. It is frustrating. They just wait around forever. So I'm going to put the We're Live up there. Let people know that we're watching this, quite frankly, could be a trash fire, depending on how everything goes. But if you're in the live chat here at youtube.com/SRS Wrestling, let me know who you think's going to win. Personally, I think it's going to be Quentin Rampage Jackson, but him saying that he's going to end his career at 205 pounds, yeah, I doubt it, buddy. I doubt it, buddy. Fedor Emelianenko now saying, oh, well, my retirement tour might not be a retirement tour. I mean, it's a retirement tour, but I might not retire after it. Jeez, man. I mean, honestly, Fedor probably shouldn't have retired back when he did. I mean, he wasted a couple of really good years there. He's 43 now, and, you know, that's not unheard of for heavyweight or anything, but the guy missed 2.5 years, or 3.5 years. He didn't fight for 3.5 years, and really, I mean, we're talking about 7 years ago, so he was in his mid-30s then. He probably still had some good fights in him there. Now, the thing was, he was coming off those 3 big losses and jobbed out a few people, like Pedro Hizzo and Ishii and Jeff Monson, before he came back. And, I mean, he's really still fought jabrones, except for Ryan Bader. Ryan Bader's not a jabron anymore. Or never really was, but that was a hell of a fight. Got knocked out pretty quickly. Him and Mitrione connected with each other at the same time. He beat Chael Sonnen, a guy who had no business being in the ring against a heavyweight, all things considered. Beat Frank Mir. All right, cool. Frank Mir and Fedor is a fight that probably should have happened a long time ago. But needless to say, I'm still excited for this fight. I'd rather watch these two fight past their prime than not fight at all. And not just past their prime. Nowhere even remotely close to their primes. Despite the fact that you could argue and say, well, Fedor Emelianenko has won 6 of his last 8 fights. Come on, what does that even mean? Rampage beat Vanderlei last year. Okay. You know what's amazing? Rampage Jackson, as I look, has competed every single year in MMA since 1999. Every single year. He started in November 1999. Here he is with just a couple days left in 2019 with his first and only fight of the year, presumably, unless he gets booked in 2 nights on Ryzen or something. Amazing. That is unbelievable. I don't know who else can really say that. I'd have to go back and look. Because, like, Vanderlei Silva can't. He took 4 years off. Hadn't fought this year. Not a lot of people can really boast that longevity. And it's quite impressive. And I'm sure he'll fight next year. He should. Probably the same type of card. And that'd be kind of cool. He'll have fought in 4 different decades. Vince Carter's about to accomplish that in the NBA. He'll be the first player to have played NBA basketball across 4 decades. Rampage is 265? Damn! Jeez. Now, Fedor's a husky boy. A husky boy. And he's at 240.5. Apologies, guys. I'm battling a sore throat and a sinus infection, but we're about to do the damn thing. It's finally about to happen. Michael C. Williams in the cage. They're doing the introductions. Damn. This is going to be something. Hopefully. Hopefully it's good. I don't want it to be a bad fight. I mean, the thing is, Fedor fights have at least been exciting of late. I can't think of the last time I saw a boring Fedor fight. Maybe like 8 years ago against Jeff Monson. Maybe. Because look, Bader knocked him out. He beat Sonnen's ass. The Frank Mir fight ended in under a minute. The Mitrione thing was a minute 15. Maldonado was a great fight. Great fight. Jadeep Singh beat his ass real quick. Pedro Hizzo beat his ass. Satoshi Ishii, that was a suspect fight. But, whatever. Shout out to our dude Aaron Jays fan who went to the Toronto WWE live event tonight. I went to the Cincinnati one this week. They're showing Fedor's notable wins, and he does have some notable ones. You can say what you want about that run. But he beat Mark Coleman, he beat Kevin Randleman, he beat Fajita, he beat Nog, he beat Heath Herring and Semi Schilt. Those were pretty solid names. Beat Crow Cop, beat Mark Hunt before Mark Hunt was really who he was. Beat Sylvia and Arlovsky fresh off their UFC runs. He beat some good fighters. However, I think Quentin Rampage Jackson's resume is more impressive. I really do. Beat Chuck Liddell, beat Dan Henderson, beat Ricardo Arona and Ninja Hua when they were something, even though the Ninja Hua fight, He beat Randleman, he beat Igor, beat Machida. Even later on would beat King Mo. And here we go. As I try to survive this sore throat. Can't breathe. Touch of the gloves. We are underway. Man, Rampage looks so out of shape. Jeez, man. I was going to say he looks like a shell of his former self. Oh my God. He just ate a bunch of punches and shelled up. But he looks terrible physically. And no, I think Fedor's going to win this fight. And I don't think it's going to even be close at this point. I thought it would be Rampage until I saw Rampage in the cage. Jesus Christ, man. My God. Rampage isn't doing anything. He's just sitting there, immobile, because he's huge, getting peppered by Fedor. Jeez. Thrown down, gets back up to his feet. Now he's eating a bunch of punches. Fedor whipping that ass. This is pathetic. This is embarrassing. My God. Guys. Oh, jeez. I don't know if Rampage has thrown a single punch 2 minutes in. He's going to have to... There he goes. He leaned in with a lunging jab. There is no way Rampage ever fights at 205 again. He's got to stop with that. You got to stop with that, man. His footwork's bad. His footwork that used to be exceptional. He did just check a kick. That's good. And it looked like it affected Fedor as well. Fedor is still a little bit light on his feet. Throws out a jab. Connects with Rampage. I'm so disappointed by this. Like even... Okay, maybe this isn't better than not seeing it all. Because really, that's just like a hologram of Rampage Jackson. Oh, they're both getting 6 figures. That's it. Rampage is done. He eats a punch. That's it. That was a fucking embarrassment. That was sad. Rampage just said no more. He effectively tapped strikes. He's done. Oh my God, he was split open. That was the most pathetic shape I have seen somebody like that show up in a main event in a long time. Oh my God, I can't believe this. This is how this unfolded. I legit had Rampage winning this fight until I saw him in the cage standing next to Fedor. And there's no fucking way. There's no fucking way Rampage wins that. He couldn't move. Jesus, Howard Christ. How do you show up to fight that man? I don't care how old Fedor is. How do you show up and fight that man in that kind of shape? Well, I know, because you're getting your 6 figures and you're walking out. Rampage Jackson was my favorite MMA fighter in like 2006. My favorite. Made me a UFC fan. Jesus, man. This ain't the guy that beat Marvin Eastman. This ain't the guy that slammed Ricardo Arona. This ain't the guy that knocked out Chuck Liddell. That's sure as hell the situation. But quite frankly, it looked like the same Fedor we always saw. I mean, obviously not as good, but comparatively speaking, to the guy that stood next to him in the cage, and hey, this looked like Fedor versus Zulu Zinu 2. Oh my God. Well, that's it, guys. Leave a thumbs up. This sucked. We're out.